So, Gabriel, most people know you as an outdoor and lifestyle photographer. How do you think that preparation for portrait differs from your landscape type of work?
I think that landscape photography is really different because it's more planed, the composition are more static and precise. You have to wait a lot of time to get the image that you want. If you want the sun in some place, you have to wait to the period of the year that is gonna happen that thing, or you want maybe some special condition and the weather is not always your alley. And it's like you have to play with all of that things to get the picture. However, in portrait photography is really different because it's really open to change. Maybe you have some condition of light that day, but you can play with these conditions to get different things. For example, you have a sunny day, you can go to the shadows to get a soft skin, or you can stay in the sun and use the sunlight like a kicker light to get the figure highlight. Or for example, it's a cloudy day, you can use this light to get a more integrated image because all the colors are more plain. And you can play a lot with the light when you are shooting portrait, and that is awesome.
That's very interesting to use them as creative tools to achieve your creative vision in a distinctive look. I think that's how Zeiss lenses have a lot to offer, recognized by the legacy of photographers and filmmakers' work as the Zeiss look. True to life color reproduction thanks to the T-star coating, exceptional sharpness from corner to corner, and the 3D pop effect with harmonious bokeh rendering. And since we are just talking about the bokeh rendering, I recall that back in the days where technologies were still limited, the bokeh effect was usually a byproduct, which means that it wasn't one of the major criterion to consider during the product design phase. But for some lenses in the history, this may have become a much more recognizable characteristics that are found and appraised by the photo community. Taking our Zeiss B-Speed cinematography lenses back in 1970s as an example, it's not now for the owners of these heritage lenses. We are happy to bring its signature look to a new life in a very realistic way so that everyone today can be fascinated and enjoy these appealing styles, for example, on mobile camera as well.
I absolutely agree with the bokeh point. To me, having a nice look that makes my subject stand out is essential, and of course, bokeh is a good tool to go with.
So that brings me to the next question, Gabriel. What mattered the most to you during your creative process, from planning to creating the portraits? Do you feel somehow different when creating portraits using different devices like smartphones?
When I think about creating portraits, the first thing that I have to think is about the vibes and emotion that I want to photograph. When I have that, I can go to the outfit, to the surrounding, to the person that I want to take pictures. But the principal or the main scene is the emotion and vibe that I want to generate. If I have a job with a model for a brand or something like that, I choose all the elements based on the client needs. If it's a personal portrait, I like that they choose the outfit and the environment because I want that they be part of the creative process. When I shoot in outdoor, for example, I give a lot of importance to the time of the year or the weather condition because that affects a lot to the vibes that you are going to get. For example, if you want to get a bucolic image, the best time to shoot this kind of picture is in autumn because you are gonna get that brown colors and that kind of nostalgic image. If you want a war image, you can shoot on sunrise or sunset because you are get that tones. If you want a dramatic image, you can shoot on harsh light. or a sunny day, a midday, because you are gonna get really big contrast. It's really nice to play with that in portrait. Regarding the smartphones, I think that helps people to get more comfortable in front of the camera. For example, if there are a lot of people around, you are gonna draw much less attention, and that reduces the pressure of the person that you are taking pictures.
Well, I could only echo what you said. So capturing emotions in a natural vibe is so vital to a memorable portrait. Nowadays, when people use their smartphone camera in almost every kind of occasions, it's not only the subject who feels more natural and relaxing when they are in front of the camera, but sometimes I find that when I pass my smartphone and ask someone, hey, can you take a picture for me or for us? That person, as the photographer in that moment, can also become more creative and confident to engage their subject. So I find it also a very interesting observation. So, Gabriel, what are your memorable moments using the smartphone camera on your trip? Could you share some highlights?
I was in Portugal trying a smartphone camera, and I have to say that the performance was awesome. I was shooting before sunrise and when sun is rising, and oh my god, the performance in low light conditions are incredible. You get really nice tones and colors. After that, I was in Madrid trying out portrait with my friends, and I have to say that it's awesome how the smartphones give you the opportunity to take so fabulous portraits right now. For example, you can play with all the bokeh styles that Zeiss give you, or you can play with different focal lengths in the same device. Is something incredible.
Yes, with the smartphone camera system, the zoom experience can be achieved in a different way.